Hey guys, welcome back to another new video. Today's video is going to be a February TBR where I'm going to discuss about all the books that I plan to read this month. Although I'm not sure whether I will be able to complete the list in 1 month or not. But anyways, these are some of the books I bought this month and some of the books were already bought before, but I wasn't able to read them. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So this TBR is comprised of a total of 6 books, and the first book is An Unwanted Guest by Shari Lapena. I have read all the other books by Shari Lapena as well. Not all the other books. There is a new book that came out in 2019. Uh, I forgot the name, but there's a new book. I haven't read that one. So let's move into this book. So this book is about a few guests who went for a weekend holiday to a place called Michelle's Inn, and this inn is supposedly in a very secluded place away from all the hustle and bustle of the city, so that you can have a social detox kind of a thing. But when they went there, there was a murder, and then they had it was like they were trapped in the inn because of the snowfall or bad weather, I guess. Yeah, bad weather, and there was a violent storm going on. So and someone was killed, so they actually were trapped in the inn with a murderer. And the synopsis given at the back of the book is very similar to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. So I am quite interested about this one because I read The Couple Next Door by Shari Lapena and didn't quite like it, but I read A Stranger in the House, it was better, and Unwanted Guest was released after that, so I am guessing that it will be much better. So let's see. The next book that I plan to read is My Name is Lucy Parton by Elizabeth Stroud. Elizabeth Stroud is known for a very warm style of writing. She even won the Man Booker Prize for her Olive Kitteridge book. I haven't read that either, but this is my first book from Elizabeth Stroud. This book is about a woman named Lucy who went through an operation and now she's recovering, but she hasn't met her mother in a very long time. And when she's in the hospital, her mother comes to visit her. I guess yeah, her mother comes to visit her, and then she recalls all the childhood memories that she had. She had a very troubled childhood while growing up in Illinois, and then she also had a faltering marriage. She also loved her 2 daughters. So this book is basically about life, its hardships, and the relationship between a mother and a daughter that is portrayed through that one meeting. So the third book in my list is A Breath of Fresh Air by Amulya Malladi. So this is also the first book of this author that I'm reading. But the synopsis of all the books that she has are very nice, and I particularly loved this one and I picked it up. So the book revolves around the Bhopal gas tragedy that happened in the year 1984, and Anjali was waiting for her husband who worked in the army, and she survived the tragedy, but she didn't her marriage faltered, and because of some reason, I don't know, I haven't read it yet. So she went through a divorce, and years later she is a successful woman working as a teacher, and she's also remarried to a nice person who's an established professor. But then when everything seems to be perfect, her young son is suffering from some disease which is fatal, and then her ex-husband also returns, making situations worse. As you already know how the Indian society treats a woman who has undergone divorce, they literally become scandalous as if it's all the woman's fault. So I guess the book revolves something around that, and it also brings into the fold the Indian culture and the psychology that a woman has when she opts for divorce, and also the roles she plays after years when her ex-husband comes back, and how she deals with all those emotions that she had buried within herself years ago when she opted for the divorce. The Indian society definitely plays a very big role in this book, and I can't wait to read it. And another fact that intrigues me is that it is spun around the Bhopal gas tragedy, and I don't know how big a role that plays in this. So I think the book will also show the impact that the tragedy had on the people. So moving on to the next book in my list, which is The Woman in Cabin 10, and I guess some of you might have read this already. This was trending on Amazon for a lot of months, and I finally got my hands on this one. On the top of the book, a comment is written according to which the book has a lot of similarities with the writings of Agatha Christie. So that itself intrigues me to read this at once because I'm a big fan of Agatha Christie books. I'll make a separate video on that because I have a lot of Agatha Christie books. So back to this one. So this book is about a woman who is a travel journalist by the name of Lo Blacklock. Very weird name. Anyways, Lo Blacklock, and she sent on the so-called dream cruise for the Northern Lights, but that turned into a nightmare. Sorry, I've got a very bad cold. And that turned into a nightmare when she sees someone throwing a person off board from the next cabin. Now, when she reports that murder, what happens is that all the passengers were accounted for and no one was missing. No one was staying in that cabin. So now Lo thinks that Lo is in a dilemma. She is confused that whether what she saw was right or whether she was hallucinating or something. If it was true, then she is on board with the murderer. According to me, the book is going to be a page turner, I think, because there are a lot of good reviews about it. And I'll make a video on how I found The Woman in Cabin 10. The next book that I'm going to be talking about is Truly Madly Guilty by Leanne Moriarty. Leanne Moriarty books are really very famous, and I think you might have read this one too. But if you haven't, then I will tell you how I found it. So, this book revolves around six characters. So, there are two of them named Sam and Clementine, I guess. And Clementine is really excited for some interview that she's for some audition that she's doing, and Sam is very happy with his new job. And then there is Clementine and Erica, who are the best of friends, and they don't really have to say anything to convey their feelings. They simply have to look at each other and they know what they're thinking and feeling. So Erica's neighbors were Tiffany and Vid, and Erica invites Sam and Clementine to their barbecue, like Vid and Tiffany's barbecue. But when they went there, that evening changed everything. Something happened and their lives were changed forever. So after a few months, Sam and Clementine were wondering what if they never went there. So, as the title says, truly madly guilty, guilt plays a very big role in this book, and it shows how guilt can bring up faults even from the strongest relationships. Leanne Moriarty also speaks about how the most innocent moments of your life can change it forever. And Moriarty also, sorry, this opposite. In this book, Leanne Moriarty also speaks about how the things that you don't actually say can impact your lives in greater ways than the things you do. So that's deep, and I can't wait to read this one as well. I hope I'm going to finish all of this in February itself because I really want to. I don't like keeping books in my bookshelf because once I buy them and I keep them, they just literally stay there forever and I'm not able to read them. So I don't buy too many books beforehand because if I buy too many books, then they literally stay on the bookshelf forever. Moving on to the next book. I think if you follow me on Instagram, then you have already seen me buying it because I had posted a photo long ago about reading this one, but I didn't get time to start. It's called A House for Happy Mothers by Amulya Malladi again. And I really love the concept of this story because it's like a modern day family saga which revolves around again the Indian society. So the story revolves around two women. One of them is named Priya and one of them is named Asha. Priya is from Silicon Valley and she has a very good job, a very well settled life. But what she doesn't have is a baby, which she wants very badly, but she cannot have, I guess. She has some health problems. But then there is Asha, who lives in a small village in India. She has a very sweet child, but she doesn't have the means to support. Her husband also doesn't have a proper work and they can barely keep the roof over their head. So but then she signs into a surrogacy center, I guess it's called the Happy Mother's House. She was quite reluctant about it because she was renting her home to help mothers, to help women who wanted to be mothers but couldn't. So the book is all about the rising surrogacy industry in India, and I think it's something that needs to be brought to light. And so since Priya wanted a child so bad, she relies on this woman named Asha, whom she has never met, whom she doesn't know. From the synopsis itself, I think the book is going to be very compassionate and empathetic. The illustration is good. The page quality is really nice. I like the font too. It's normal, but there's something about the spacing and arrangement that I love. Thank you all for watching this video, and if you want more such TBRs in the future, let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video. And I've also left Amazon links in the description box below of the books that I've mentioned here. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one.